Hi, my name is Patty Mohr. I'm the founder of Mohr Media and the editor and writer for Global Economic Report. I'm here with Spencer Hayes. She just finished her master's degree this spring and has joined Mohr Media as a correspondent, writing about the economic sanctions and human rights issues. Spencer, this week, one of the stories you worked on was a story about Nicaragua. What can you tell me about what's happening in Nicaragua?
Yeah. So first of all, hello, everyone. So this past week, I reported on the human rights violations that have been occurring in Nicaragua, especially related to President Ortega's re-election possibilities in November. Since 2018, there have been a number of uprisings within the state, and which has led to hundreds of thousands of people being arrested or killed by the police under Ortega's rule. So within response to that, there have been a number of potential sanctions because of the human rights violations. This will be a topic that will continue to grow over the next several months with his election coming up in November.
Let's take a look at your story. Nicaragua cracks down on political speech ahead of the elections. And one of the things you mentioned was a resolution by the Organization of American States. What can you tell me about that resolution? What did the organization do this last week, I think it was?
So the resolution that passed last week is specifically addressing the arrests and harassment against potential presidential election candidates that could potentially pose a threat to Ortega's rule. So the OAS passed expressed grave concerns against what has been done. And so this resolution is basically condemning what Nicaragua has been doing against these political opponents.
Okay, let's take a quick look at that meeting from the Organization of American States, and we'll hear from the ambassador from Nicaragua to that organization.
Luis Alvarado of Nicaragua. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Gracias, señor presidente. El gobierno de Nicaragua rechaza la presentación del falaz y malintencionado informe de la CDH sobre Nicaragua. Condenamos la manipulación y la instrumentalización de este organismo que está siendo utilizado como punta de lanza por el gobierno de los Estados Unidos en su guerra de agresión en contra de Nicaragua y su descarada injerencia en el proceso electoral nicaragüense. Los informes de la Comisión Interamericana de Derechos Humanos sobre Nicaragua no tienen ninguna credibilidad ni relevancia. La población nicaragüense ya los conoce muy bien y sabe a qué intereses representan. Y vendepatrias financiados y dirigidos por el gobierno norteamericano con el objetivo de romper el orden constitucional, afectar la paz y la seguridad ciudadana y a través de sus nexos con gobiernos extranjeros intentan reeditar el fallido golpe de Estado, todo ello en el marco del proceso electoral nicaragüense.
It is interesting to hear the response from Nicaragua, that they're basically saying this is all the United States, and that they're saying that the United States wants basically do a coup d'etat for the government. So it's that's their side of things. But when you look at what's happening in the country and you see that the people who are getting rounded up, they look like they're ordinary citizens and ordinary journalists. You mentioned some people are fleeing the country for their safety. Shall we go and take a look at Miguel Mendoza's wife, the interview with Miguel Mendoza's wife? Miguel is the second journalist who's been rounded up recently, and he was arrested over the weekend and placed in prison. So let's take a look at his story and go from there. He was charged on treason, and here's a statement from his wife, who's been going to the prison to bring personal supplies, water.
Todas las personas que me han escrito, que están pendientes, esos mensajes de apoyo para nuestra familia, los hermanos de Miguel, igual mi hija de 7 años, ha pasado momentos de angustia, preguntando por su papá. Hoy, el Día del Padre, imagínense qué regalo para la familia, sobre todo para mi hija. Agradezco muchísimo a ustedes, los medios de comunicación, por el acompañamiento que nos han dado en esta cobertura con la detención de Miguel. Esperamos que pronto sean liberados todos los presos políticos. Eso es lo que anhelamos las familias de los presos políticos. En el caso de Miguel, realmente no entiendo por qué la detención. Miguel no está en ningún partido político, en ninguna alianza, simplemente es un periodista que comparte sus ideas, y el hecho de compartir ideas o la opinión personal no es un delito en nuestro país. Por eso hay una palabra que acá que tiene mucho poder, una expresión que se llama libertad de expresión y el tema de democracia. Así que para todos los colegas, sé que también pasan por momentos difíciles, pero exigimos, ¿no?, la liberación de los presos políticos, y sobre todo en la parte personal exijo la liberación de Miguel.
So we hear her emphasize that he's only being locked up for expressing his opinions in social media. And that's it. He's a sports writer. So it's really interesting to hear her point of view. I'll include the links that we shared in the comment section of this video. And I just want to thank you for your work. Do you have any further comment that you wanted to mention about this story?
So I think the main thing is, I think it's important when people are reading and learning about these topics to keep in mind the people themselves. Like we just watched, these issues are affecting real people, and it's important to realize what's going on, not just at the government level, that this is actually impacting civilians and people and families. So I just be cautious to always include those in your research when you're learning new topics, and just to stay informed and have, good sources.
Thank you so much. That's a really excellent point, and it's so often easy to forget, but that's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to close it there. Thank you very much.